Now we have a returning BFCVC guest who has done major work in the global cannabis industry. Please welcome Gabriel Diaz, CEO of Medcana, OTCID ticker SFWJ.
Hello, Buffalo Fireside Chat investors. Welcome. Eric, thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. It is an honor to be able to participate in this again. Thank you very, very much. I am honored to be here, guys, and I want to make what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you an introduction into who we are, but also for those of you that already know us, you'll get an update on where we are and what we're doing. We're extremely happy with what's happened since the last conference. So I think you guys will be very happy to hear where we're at. Without further ado, then let's start with a presentation. Our agenda will be, again, who we are, why we're in pharmaceutical cannabis, what the global market looks like, where and why we're there geographically, where we were on the last update, where we are now, and where we are going. Well, Software Effective Solutions Corporation is SFWJ, traded on the OTC markets. DBA is Medcana. We are working on audits and getting the name changed over, but we're still trading under SFWJ. We are structured as a global holding company. We have 7 cannabis companies in Colombia, fully registered to grow THC and CBD, process and export. One of those companies has a license to register 100 genetics varieties, which is tremendous. We have one agrotech company that we acquired a majority stake in order to save quite a bit on the deployment of our very, very large planting facility. We have one Australian company with pending cannabis import and distribution licenses. We have that I'll talk about in a little bit. We have one software company that provides ERP solutions for internal use and software as a service for external cannabis companies, and that is currently in development. Industry is pharmaceutical grade cannabis production and systems, and our geography is in South America, Colombia, and currently Australia. Our company mission and vision is to become a global leader in pharmaceutical grade cannabis production and distribution. We are very happy to say that we're getting there very quickly. Our mission is to leverage innovation, sustainability, and traceability to deliver top-tier cannabis products. Our core strengths are, again, these fully licensed and compliant these 7 companies that have been acquired in Colombia. They're aggregated in 259 acres of land with a capacity to produce 27 acres, with a capacity to have 27 acres of greenhouses where we will be producing cannabis. We have the ERP company and the agricultural technology integration company. Our strategic international partnerships exist already in Germany, Australia, and we are working on Brazil. The leadership team is comprised by myself, serial entrepreneur. I've built and sold multiple telecom companies, been involved in multiple other ventures, been an advisor to tech incubators, was the former president of the American AEM, Mexican Business and Entrepreneurs Association in Austin, Texas. Our senior advisor in Colombia is Wilmar Gorin, who is CEO of Anutea. He co-founder of the company, has been involved in it for 7 years, an expert in greenhouse operations, based in Medellin. He brings extensive experience in cannabis cultivation with a background of flower cultivation and a serial entrepreneur as well. Jairo Alexander Castro is our agricultural engineer and regulatory compliance advisor. He was a former member of the Regulatory Council, one of 3 agriculture engineers that worked for the Ministry of Justice, who contributed in drafting the technical regulations for the cannabis law. So as our advisor, we are extremely lucky to have him as an advisor. He not only knows compliance and regulations, he helped write them. So our ag director has 20 years of experience. His name is Diego Flores. He's got 20 years of experience as production director in the flower industry. He's trained and worked in Switzerland in pharmaceutical cannabis production. And he is phenomenal. What keeps our structure very light is our last team member. He's really CEO of Strata Financial. Snyder Roldan is CEO of Strata Financial, who runs our legal, regulatory, compliance, finance, and HR. He is an ex-Deloitte member, founder of Strata Financial in 2019, and it is his operation that keeps us very light and keeps our overhead very low. Why pharmaceutical cannabis? Um, Under each one of these bullet points are 7 to 10 disorders and illnesses that cannabis helps with. It is extremely broad. I'm not going to get into it, but the market is absolutely there because of this. And not only the market, but the global impact on people, on helping people is absolutely there. But neurological disorders, pain and inflammation, mental health and behavioral support, autoimmune and inflammatory conditions, endocrine and metabolic disorders, pediatric applications. And again, under each bullet point, there are many, many illnesses that cannabis helps with. What do the global opportunities look like? I've talked about this in previous presentations. Brazil is the gorilla in the room. Brazil, 6 years ago, legalized recreational use with 40 grams of consumption per person per month. However, they never regulated or legalized how this gets distributed. So they've been going through a process to generate a public-private model for cannabis distribution that involves pharmaceutical grade cannabis. When this opens up, there are approximately 9 million regular cannabis users consuming 40 grams per month, equating to 360 metric tons per month. Just to give you an idea of the scale, Colombia exported approximately 10 metric tons of cannabis last year. And the global market is not ready to supply a country of 250 million with 9 million users. So the global demand is going to go through the roof. Brazil has already stated that they will never allow cannabis crops to be planted in the country because it's very hard to regulate it. It's such an expansive country. There's so much land that it's very hard to regulate it. The next one, obviously, Europe and Australia are humongous. It's a $3.6 billion market in 2025, and it's projected to reach 12.7 by 2033, 18% growth. Germany leads the market with 26.7% share. Australian, well, and many other countries in Europe are legalizing the use of pharmaceutical or have legalized the use of pharmaceutical. Many are going to legalize recreational. And when recreational gets legalized, again, the safeguards are there to make sure that it's pharmaceutical grade that is being sold. So that again increases our market. Australian legal cannabis market was estimated at 186.4 million in 2025 and expected to be at 228 million. Much smaller than Europe, but a phenomenal market because of the growth it is going to continue to have, but also because it is a global hub for cannabis cultivation, research, and exports, driven by a very clear regulatory climate. In cultivation, however, Australia has fallen back. It doesn't have the correct weather or the correct labor structure, that gives us a huge advantage. But as a global aggregate, again, the market is estimated at $42.91 billion in 2025, up from 33.52 in 2024, with again average growth of 27.5 between 2025 and 2020 and 2030. So we're in the right place at the right time in an industry that's starting. I'll tell you what we have. We have the right location. We are 2,100 meters or 6,900 feet above sea elevation, which gives a spring-like climate, 74 degrees year-round, 12 hours of daylight year-round, and approximately 90 inches of rainfall year-round. On top of that, we had significant labor cost efficiencies due to the labor force being highly focused, especially in this area, on flower production, which is Colombia's largest export. And so with that, we have a phenomenal workforce that's not just inexpensive, but also already trained to grow with us. The other thing that we have is because of all these factors, we are able to squeeze in 4 annual growth cycles with very little additional energy on our behalf. Energy meaning electricity to have lights, warm, cool. So very, very big advantages. Where we were on the last update, let's talk a little bit about that on the last conference. Echo 2.0 is on track to generate $1 million in revenue this year. We continue to be on track. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We had 2,400 square meters of greenhouses completed and planting to begin in July. That has happened, and you can see that on this picture. This is the greenhouse where we're currently planting the cycles in. We planted 3 of these humps. Next, we are planting 2 of these humps in the next 15 days, and then the other 2, and then we continue to the build out of the next facility, which is an additional 2,300 square meters. This has changed. I'll show you on the next slide why. The processing facility was planned and ready for construction. The construction area was planned to be in this small portion, and that has changed. I'll talk about that in the next slide. All the supporting infrastructure, roads, rainwater collection, and ramp pump system reservoir had been completed. That remains. Australia company was being established, fully licensed operations in Colombia with infrastructure ready for full-scale production. Strong relationship with authorities. Even though you've seen some stuff on the news, we still remain in a very calm area, very calm political climate locally, very pro-cannabis and pro-agriculture from both political right and left. Extremely safe and secure region of the country with strong police and military presence in the area, with direct radio access for emergencies. We are in a very safe area, and nothing has changed about that. But where we are on growing, as you can see, these pictures, as you can see, this picture is from last Friday. We have 3,500 plants in week 5 of 12. Our next cycle starts in 2 weeks with 2,500 plants, those other 2 humps, and then we continue. We are running a large test with non-pharma CBD in semi-open space for quick cash flow. What's happened globally is a lot of the producers are starting to focus on THC, and especially the indoor growers. And so CBD prices have plummeted. So CBD extracts prices are going up, and we are running a test with a very light structure that I'll show you in a video in a little bit. If that works, we're going to continue to add these ultra light structures as we grow the THC. We will drop those spaces and replace them with THC. But we also have to double the size of the processing facility in order to accommodate much higher yields that we were expecting. This has changed quite a bit. You can Terrace 1, the area that was supposed to be destined for production for processing was back here. We've actually taken a third, and we're building I believe it's a 2,800 square meter facility to be able to process the yield that we're expecting. So the additional 2,300 square meters are on hold until we finish the processing, and then we will continue. However, again, in this space, we are currently preparing for this very light greenhouse crop of 1,000 plants to test. We have a very strong genetic on the CBD, so we're going to see how that goes. Our farmer certification process has begun. It began with the certification with planting. We have a 4 to 6 month process for certification, so we're well on track for it. All of our infrastructure is built to certification standards. We don't expect any issues with that. Again, supporting infrastructure, fully licensed, everything remains the same with the last bullet points. Nothing has changed from a political standpoint. Nothing has changed from a regulatory standpoint. We're very, very happy. Echo 2.0 becomes a larger player. Echo 2.0 is, again, on track to generate approximately $1 million in revenue. However, we closed one $450,000 deal with one of the largest flower growing companies in the country. We have quite a few more on the table. This is thanks to the hiring of a new commercial director, Jorge Correa, who comes from the industry and has really well. Uh, because of him, we and our current CEO, Juan Ricardo Vélez, we were able to participate in the largest agricultural show in Colombia, Agrofuturo. We had excellent results. We have incredible opportunities in cannabis. We have determined that irrigation systems in coffee plantations can increase production by a nominal rate of 40%. So we're very excited about that. We have a few projects that will close probably next month in this area. We have projects in banana plantations. We have a project in a 1,500 hectare, which is about 3,500 acres of banana, coconut, and again, banana plantations. We're in negotiations with a global coffee producer to increase yields among all their plantations with our technology. And we have a distribution agreement with one of the largest irrigation pivot companies on the planet, which we are starting to distribute in Colombia. Again, we also signed a new agreement for production of greenhouses in the country, better cost and faster delivery. We were buying from an Israeli company that was sourcing from that was producing them in China. We now have we now have sourced local production of the structures, and we are building the rest of the structures ourselves. So we have much better costs and faster delivery. We've also created an internship program with a local university for irrigation design engineers to ensure growth. We've been growing very quickly. So again, Echo 2.0 is growing extremely well. Cannabis business, where are we today? We attended the Australian Cannabis Convention in Melbourne with phenomenal results. One of the biggest things that has me excited the most is the quality of cannabis is a home run. It's an absolute home run. Because we have the sun, because we're growing in these greenhouses that are semi-open, our plants receive direct contact with the elements. Even though the average temperature is 74 degrees, there's still about a 10 to 15 degree variance. We let wind in. We have mesh to protect from birds and insects, but we let the wind in. So this as well as the photonic load that is in these latitudes and longitudes allow the plants to develop an extreme amount of terpenes that doesn't happen when flower cannabis gets grown indoor. So what's happened is we're seeing cannabis with 15 to 50% more terpenes. And these terpenes, just like cannabinoids, have tremendous medicinal qualities. Doctors are looking for high terpenes to prescribe. And so we ran across that. And this was me personally talking to people at the A Cannabis show and realizing that not only do we have a premium product, but we have a premium product that differentiates it with a huge differentiation from any indoor grower anywhere on the planet. We also made great strides on import and logistics. Our licensing is on the edge of being approved. We're in the very final phases. And again, we even have some clients lined up and almost ready to go. We do have letters of intent signed with Germany. We have a current commitment signed to buy all our current production through the end of the year. So we're very happy about that. We see global demand continuing to grow, as I mentioned earlier. We do expect a shortage of product globally. So we have clients asking us to sign long-term contracts, which we're currently in negotiations with. And we have a lot of possible clients waiting to run tests of our product once we get our first crop out and begin to commit to long-term contracts. It's a little bit of a chicken and an egg because they're ready to go, but they want to test, and we can't test because we're not ready to go. So we have to send a sample, but we are very, very close. And I'm very happy with where we're at. We're still 2 months out from harvest and drying, and we have these clients lined up out the door with one current client that's already signed. Where we are going. So before we go where we're going, let's take you on a little field trip and show you a little bit of what the farm looks like at this moment. It's been kind of a boring presentation with just me speaking. And so let's take you through an update. So again, these are the first three terraces where we're planting. This is what it looked like a few months ago. We began to plant. This is the facility. This is the test we're going to, let me show you. This is the processing. This is the CBD test. This will be covered in very light plastic. It's not a full greenhouse. It doesn't have an irrigation system. But again, if this grows and this strain of CBD grows, it's going to be profitable for us and help us with cash flow. Again, this is where I'm sorry to do this, but this is going to be the easiest way to do it. This is where the original processing facility is going to be. It was half the size. This is where the facility is now. This is very interesting. Again, I published a tweet a few months ago about how much money we'd saved on the drainage basis for the planters that we're using. I'm very happy to say that, and this looks very rustic, but it's been extremely successful. I'm very happy with even the innovation that we've had, because we started with what was a single planter, and well, here you can see the crop. But what's happened is we have evolved these single planters made out of recycled plastic into these planters that hold the entire row, saving us a ton of time on the production of these, and these are extremely inexpensive. So very rustic, but it gets the job done. Again, here's what the processing facility is looking like. Here's what the plants are looking like. We can't get enough videos. We have the ramp pump running and filling up our reservoir. Our plants at night. Our team, small team. There is, again, what it looks like. A lot of construction going on for the processing facility. This is, again, what the processing facility is going to look like. 2.5 times the original size. Very, very fast construction. And the entire facility will be certifiable for UGMP. And again, this is what the plants look like right now. This was 2 days ago. And this is the space where the next crops will be planted. So we still have quite a bit of space. Again, what I've just shown you is just these three terraces. As we build out this, we have this portion built out. We will build out this portion, then this portion, and then we continue to build out all of these greenhouses in 2,500 square meter blocks, or smaller in some cases. And then we go on to this side. So continuous addition of greenhouses in blocks of 2,500 square meters. We're signing long-term contracts, and we're going to grow Australia. Financial overview, we have authorized shares of 1.5 billion, outstanding shares of 319 million, restricted 176 million, unrestricted 143 million, a float of 118 million, and a current price of 0.005 cents a share. With valuation and projections, all capital and current, again, we are raising capital. The capital that we're raising is for faster expansion. We're at a point where we can continue growth and self-fund, but we do have a round that we'll be raising on a Reg A. For that reason, we shrank the shares that we had outstanding, expecting that we were going to add a few more. But we do have expansion of, well, this funding, whether we raise it or not, we're still deciding, will be focused towards expansion of greenhouses expansion of operations of Australia. We have secured purchase orders from Germany again, so we're very happy about that. That gives us the cash flow we need to continue to grow. We are targeting $50 million annually starting next year. A valuation multiple of 2.5 times revenue would put us at 125 million valuation, an estimated share price of 24.5 cents. So this is where we're at. We're very happy to be here. I really want to thank you. I believe that we are on the cusp of something very big, and I hope you guys can come along for the ride. So thank you very much and have a great day.